Braves spring training is underway, and one of the most intriguing storylines will be the left field spot, headlined by Marcell Ozuna, who could or could not even be on the roster, depending on how he does in spring training. Eddie Rosario's in the mix, but some of the lesser guys also made some noise. I mean, particularly Sam Hilliard. Big lumbering lefties. We read something on Fangraphs that I wrote. I know you edited it, so you read it. The guy looks like Josh Allen. He's in the top 10% sprint speed. He's got really good power. His exit velocity is good. But the fact is, he hit 200 at Coors Field. And the article from Fangraphs talked about how what he did against the shift was try to go the other way. He tried to beat the shift. Well, now that there is no shift, he doesn't have to worry about going the other way. And he thinks the Braves can look at him and say, hey, try to pull the hell out of the ball, try to hit home runs, and don't worry about your batting average. And he could be an everyday left fielder, which would be great, I guess. But that also kind of means that Marcell Ozuna and Eddie Rosario didn't have the bounce back season that we all are hoping for. So what do you expect to see out of this position going into spring training and into the regular season?
If I had to put my money on it, it wouldn't be on Sam Hilliard or Eli White. It is going to be on the two guys that have been doing it better for longer, Eddie Rosario and Marcell Ozuna. Last year was abysmal. We've spoke ad nauseum about it. Whatever they combined, 1.8 negative WAR, whatever it was. It was terrible.
1.7 is bad.
It was terrible. But that's not who they've been their entire career. Eddie Rosario dealt with the eye issue stuff and never really got, back into the groove of things. He was terrible. I expect him to bounce back. Marcell Ozuna, I'm a little less confident in. But if he could just focus on, DHing, because we have plenty of defensive options out there, I think he can bounce back too. I saw something about Eli White, and I think that Eli White could be a sneaky play there.
Jordan Luplow too. Luplow too. I mean, that's your Adam Duvall replacement in terms of
they're all great defensively, and
he's got
can
some
provide some pop
side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options out there. The Braves basically threw crap at the wall and hoping something can stick, but you obviously want it to be Marcell Ozuna and Eddie Rosario because those are your two best players. I mean, they've been very good players. And it's just funny how things change so quickly. I mean, if you think about this time last year, everyone thought Eddie Rosario. We all remembered for his amazing playoff performance. Everybody wanted him back. I wasn't as we need Eddie Rosario back as most people because baseball's a fickle game. I mean, you get hot, you get hung up on these players. I mean, look, Marcell Ozuna for 60 games was the best player on the planet in 2020. And ever since, he hasn't been anything like that. So you don't want to take small sample sizes and invest that heavily into him. So I was a little more hesitant than Eddie Rosario, but I still wanted him back. And I thought 2 years for $18 million was more than reasonable. But now everyone just is counting him out like he could never hit. This is a guy for 5 straight years put up an 800 OPS for 5 straight seasons. Basically his entire career prior to last year before the eye surgery, he was an 800 OPS hitter for everywhere he went. So there's a reason to believe he can bounce back. Now, I am kind of worried about the vision because when he did come back, it wasn't like he was significantly better. So I'm hopeful with the full healthy offseason that changes, but I'm a little wary about the whole vision issue in general.
I mean, just imagine having eye surgery and, you had issues.
You
were trying to adjust to them, and then you get the surgery, and now you're trying to get used to your new vision, your new surgery, your new normal.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, it's a ping pong ball coming at you 100 miles per hour. I mean, it'd take all of us 1,000 tries just to get some contact. So I do think my vote of confidence is in Eddie Rosario. But then, I still believe in Marcell Ozuna. I mean, off the field issues aside, I do care about that, but I'm focused on baseball, and I think he could be a productive piece. I mean, we don't have, excellent DH options. So maybe
the fact
I just want it to happen. Yeah.
The fact is the guy can hit 30 homers next year. And if he can play below average defense, he's not going to have to play defense often. It'd probably be just only against right-handers. If he's hitting well, he would probably play defense against left-handers when Eddie Rosario's sitting out. And then Travis d'Arnaud would DH. That's basically the only time he'd have to play left field if he's playing well. Otherwise, he won't be an everyday player. That goes without saying. But he'll DH against righties for the most part if he's playing well. Otherwise, you might see Hilliard DH or something like that, or Eddie Rosario and Hilliard out in left field. There's a lot of options that the Braves can go with, But it's going to be a battle out there. I mean, there's no even guarantee Hilliard's on the roster. I mean, Jordan Luplow could make it. Kevin Pillar. I mean, there's a lot of just guys, a
Yeah.
lot of guys, and a lot of
And
guys.
let's talk about it. I mean, the Braves are notorious, one or two, three, four clubs that could just take guys off the street and turn them into productive pieces. I mean, they do it year after year.
There's no better. That's kind of like, listen, it's easy to go there with Jorge Soler, but when you think about big, burly, strong dudes that just hit sub 200 and came to Atlanta and had a huge impact, Jorge Soler, Sam Hilliard, could he be that guy from the left side? I mean, if he goes out there and hits 20 home runs in 85 games, that would be huge.
I mean, it's easy. I mean, Truist Park loves lefties. We'll see.
So, I think this is just going to be a really intriguing battle, and I definitely don't think anybody's spot is set in stone except for maybe Rosario's. Everyone else, I think, they're playing for their spot on the roster, even Ozuna. Even if the Braves would give him the benefit of the doubt, if he, is a split.